My mission with this channel lately has been to understand why it's so hard to get into UX and what can be done about it. I do have some answers for you, and in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the pitfalls. I guarantee if you're making one of these mistakes that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be very hard to get your career off the ground. But on the opposite end of these mistakes lies tremendous opportunity. I've made each of these mistakes myself and corrected them, so I know exactly how much of a difference this is going to make for you. Now let's get into it. All right, now the first mistake is following a simple ABC approach to getting a job. I see this happen over and over again. Someone learns some UX fundamentals through a boot camp or an online course, then they go and make a portfolio and apply to some jobs. It sounds simple enough, right? This is just not sufficient to get an interview in 2024. You need to know that if you follow this approach, you will most likely fail. I have seen an insane amount of content that makes it seem like getting a UX job is simple. Like if you have a halfway decent portfolio and apply to some jobs, you just have this six-figure position waiting for you on the other side. It almost never happens like this. You can't just make a decent portfolio. It needs to be incredible, and you probably need to have some experience to go along with it. If this is disappointing to hear, think about it this way. Every job that is desirable and pays well is going to be difficult to get. To get a position that is sought after, you have to stand out. And to stand out, you gotta hustle. A more realistic approach might look something like this. You take some UX courses, make a portfolio, apply to jobs, and get rejected. Then you go and get more experience by doing some volunteer projects. Through those projects, you meet many new people in the industry. Those people get you connected to some low-paying freelance projects. Because you don't have an ego and you're not rushing the process, you take those projects and do all you can with them. As a result, you improve your portfolio. Then you go back and apply to more jobs, you finally get some interviews, and eventually a position. There's a good chance that this whole process could take a year or more. Now moving on, the second mistake is being delusional about how good your work is. If you're anything like me when I was starting out, there is a good chance that you think your work is way better than it actually is. You might wonder why it's not getting the appreciation that it deserves, but the truth is, if you have been doing this for less than a year, your work is probably not fantastic yet. The only reason it feels worthy of admiration is because you're comparing yourself to what you knew a year ago, which was nothing. So while you have improved dramatically, it is still far away from being exceptional. The Dunning-Kruger effect definitely applies here, which is a cognitive bias in which people who are new to a skill will drastically overestimate their abilities. If your work does not seem to be perceived well, you need to become like a scientist whose mission is to figure out what exactly sucks about their work. That is your job until you get a job. Every day you should be looking at great portfolios online and analyzing them. Learn new things about design whenever you can. Talk to different designers online and get feedback about your work. Learning and improving needs to be your top priority. If you want help noticing your weak spots, you can also apply for coaching with me. The link is in the description below. Now the third mistake is only sending in an application while you're job searching. There are not as many UX job openings in 2024. According to the UX Design Institute, there was a 73% drop in job postings in 2023 and remains low this year. There's way more people searching for a job than there normally are, but out of those people, 99% of those are just applying to any open job. So that means companies are getting flooded with applications. You have an extremely low chance of getting an interview if you're just one of the resumes in the pile. You have to start thinking about what other people are not doing and then double down on doing that. I know for a fact that most people are not reaching out directly to the design team at the company that they're interested in. It's so easy to do this. All you have to do is find out who they are on LinkedIn and send them a message. I would recommend reaching out to the person who would be your manager, and if they don't respond, reach out to one of the designers. To send a great message, you're going to have to do a little bit of research. Try to find out what product their team has worked on by going to the company website. On that website, they're going to be showcasing their product and some of the big features. You can also try the product if they offer a free version or a free trial. Then you're going to pick out something that they've done very well in the design. And now you're going to send them this message. Hi, their name. I'm very interested in the work that you're doing at their company name. I was looking into the product or feature and was very impressed by, and then add the specific thing that stood out to you. I sent in an application for the title of the position because I want to be doing work like that. If you're interested in chatting more, I would love to learn more about your team and company. Would you by any chance be open to hopping on a 15-minute call? And then your name. If they respond and you get on a call, just have a nice casual chat with them. Ask a little bit about what they do and how they like working there. At the end of the call, say you're hoping for the best with getting an interview. And if they enjoy talking to you, there's a good chance that they're going to put in a good word and you'll get an interview scheduled. I've done this while job searching, and I would estimate that I had about a 4 times higher chance of getting an interview compared to just sending in an application. I also work with my coaching clients on a more in-depth outreach process. So if you're interested in that, again, link is in the description. Now moving on, the 4th mistake is not doing anything to stand out. When a recruiter's looking at an application, they're mostly seeing slightly different versions of the same resume and portfolio over and over again. Your application needs to break the pattern for them. To have the best chance of getting an interview, you have to show them that you did something to go above and beyond. I have a few ideas for how you can do this. And just remember, almost nobody is doing any of these things. The first idea is adding videos to your portfolio. I think that the best approach here would be adding an intro video to your homepage, and then adding video versions of your case studies to each case study page. Talk about some of the same things that you did in the written version, but make it a more engaging story in the video version. Add different visuals to the screen and some nice editing, and this will really stand out. The second idea is to make an Instagram, YouTube channel, or podcast where you talk about some of the things that you've learned as a new UX designer. You can document your journey and talk about some of the projects that you're working on. Once you've done this, add clear links in your portfolio and resume to whatever profile you create. I actually went to a UX bootcamp with someone who did this. She got a great job shortly after graduating, and I think a lot of that was because of the Instagram page that she made. My third idea is to volunteer for different design events or organizations in your city. Once you've done this regularly, you can talk about it in your portfolio in an About Me section, and also bring it up in interviews. This will really show that you're someone who cares about being part of the design community and being a better designer, and will definitely help you to stand out. If you do just one of these things, I guarantee that you're going to get more interviews and eventually job offers. You can also get creative and think of things that I did not mention here. From what I've seen, maybe 1 in 20 designers are going to do something like this to stand out beyond just the standard resume and portfolio. This is going to give you a massive advantage when you're starting out. That's all I have for today, so thank you for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because I'm on a mission to help new UX designers to succeed. I'm going to be coming out with a lot of new content just like this, so I hope to see you soon.